Hey, WWE Universe, this weekend we had Money in the Bank for 2025. I would like to give you the results, of course, and my reactions. But before I do that, I just want to give you a little brief history because this year it's actually 20 years since Money in the Bank has actually been around. It first started off at WrestleMania 21. It's been 20 years this year, which is pretty amazing, I gotta say. And when this first match first actually started, it started at WrestleMania as a regular match. And after that, of course, after 5 years, we turned it into a pay-per-view. WWE turned it into a pay-per-view 5 years later and actually created this big pay-per-view around with the ladder, chairs, and tables, oh my, called Money in the Bank, where anything can happen. And then later on, and I think it was 2017, around that time, or 2018, is when the ladies actually started getting their chance, which I was actually glad to actually see that. That way, both the men's and ladies can actually get the chance. The whole idea is climbing that ladder, briefcase on the top. Whoever gets up to the very top and grabs the contract first gets a full year of the possibility of getting the belt. I say possibility because it's not always the case for if you grab the briefcase and actually become the winner. You have to actually claim it at the right time. Kind of like what Edge did when Edge had the Money in the Bank for the first time. He claimed it, and he claimed it in a really interesting way, I gotta say. It was pretty cool, remarkable how Edge won his first, I don't think it was his first actually, but he won the belt that way in the first Money in the Bank tournament. And then later on within the year, he won that. It was pretty cool. But anyways, I would like to give you the results, and I will give you my reaction afterwards. Actually, it might be a mixture between both when I actually give you the results and everything. So let's start off our first match of the night. Money in the Bank, we had the ladies first. Every one of these ladies, oh my gosh, it was well deserved. This was probably one of the best matches of the night, but I gotta say, this was an extraordinary night. The winner of the match is Naomi, which I think is pretty cool because you think she's creating a story on Friday Night SmackDown. The whole thing with Jade Cargill, if I'm saying it, Cargill, is actually a feud with them. I wonder how much longer this feud will actually cause. And which champion she would want to face this as well too, because we know over on SmackDown, it's Tiffy time. Yes, it's Tiffany's has the belt over on SmackDown. Over on Raw, Io Sky is the champion this as well too. I know I hesitated for a second. I'm going, wait a minute, who's the champion? Io Sky or Tiffany Stratton? If they have the belt, because you got to remember, not only it's got, like I said, it has got the full year. If she wants to claim it anytime, she's welcome to take that challenge. Make that possibly a big chance, because that's exactly what Tiffany Stratton did when she won Money in the Bank last year, and she actually claimed it on Nia Jax, which that whole concept of that was pretty funny. But I don't, if I keep on doing this video is gonna be long, so let's go on to the next match of the night. Dominic Mysterio had a little feud going on with during the World Collide earlier that day against Octavia Jr. And this whole, it was a nice little match. It was a quick little match, but it was actually fun at the same time because we like to see our champions actually defending their belts more often. And it's cool to see that Dominic actually doing that. But Liv Morgan was a factor in this match a little bit. I don't say as much, but I actually think just a little bit. But gave Dominic the possible frog splash and everything and doing his moves to claim, once again, retain that Intercontinental belt. So I actually think Dominic Mysterio is actually doing a good job. As long as he's actually been in the business, which I think is almost like 4 to 5 years now, he's really been impressive, especially with me. I don't know how you guys actually feel with Dominic Mysterio is actually wrestling, but I actually think he's becoming a really good wrestler. And in the likes of his dad, this as well too, with Rey Mysterio being one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I gotta say, and this man, and back me to The Undertaker. I actually gotta say, Dominic has still got a long ways towards become a future champion like Rey Mysterio actually is. But I don't want to actually say that because I don't want him to come after me. But anyways, let me go on to the next match. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Vergara, if I'm saying that right. Sorry. And this feud has been happening for quite a while, since for the last couple of months between these two. Lyra has had her number for the last couple of times. I believe she won her twice since she has came over. And she actually beat her too, Becky, in NXT this as well too. But this was Becky's night, of course, and she won the belt. Well, yeah, she grabbed the tights. You kind of set up, but you still have to give credit to Becky Lynch. Between both of these wrestlers, Becky and Lyra are you still know they're good friends, but they have to create the heat because of the storyline, what's going on. But what Becky did was trying to give Lyra to do everything. She did raise the hand, and that was supposed to be the little bet that they had between each other. But she kind of pushed it a little bit, and Lyra, of course, pushed her, and actually, the whole thing came out totally different than Becky probably ever imagined. So the next match was actually the Money in the Bank for the men's. Seth Rollins became the winner of that one, but there was so much going on in this match, of course, because since Seth Rollins is part of a stable now with Braun Breaker and Boston Reed, of course, Paul Heyman being the wise man in that group now, which I think is pretty funny. It's actually pretty cool how he traded from Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and now it's actually going to Seth Rollins. The whole concept with that was kind of funny with that. But is this the factor in this match? Because Solo came out when Solo was part of the Money in the Bank tournament this as well too. His little group came out this as well too. And what happened after with all this heat and everything? Because on Friday Night SmackDown, these three actually face each other. Solo's group, and of course the likes of Seth Rollins' group this as well too. So we know. I wonder if we will ever get this 6-man tag in the future. I would love to see this match if it actually happens, if it does happen. But the whole thing this as well too, Jacob Fatu turned on Solo. I know everybody was waiting for this match, but it actually happened in Money in the Bank. Solo was about to win the briefcase and get that contract, but Jacob had second thoughts about, second thoughts I've actually, if he wants to side or turn away from him, which he did. Before the whole thing started, the reason I hesitate because right before he Solo went up the ladder, Jacob said, "I love you, man." Then of course, once he held his foot down, so I'm saying, "No, not anymore." And you know what happened from there? If you guys happen to see it, the whole feud with Jacob and Solo has just begun. I can't wait to see what's going to happen from here. But Jacob, I feel it's going to be a really good individual wrestler. He every time he comes out, the fans cheer, including myself. And yes, it's just so exciting. So Seth Rollins is the winner with the little help from Braun and Bronson, of course. But who's he going to face? That's the big question. So leave your comments down below with both of these champions, with Naomi and Seth Rollins. Who do you actually think they might be going after, if they're still champions as of today, or if it's going to change down in the future, of course. Okay, so we are down to our big main event with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso and facing John Cena and Logan Paul. Okay, so this was I really checked the time with this one. It went over a half hour to 40 minutes long. I was actually kind of surprised with that. I wasn't too sure if it would actually be that long of a match, but it was really an exciting match. It went really both ways until the very end of the match, maybe like 5 minutes before the match ended. There was something there with John Cena and Logan Paul actually. I was wondering how these two would interact with each other. I really thought John Cena would have attacked Logan Paul, but that was not the case. It was just a pushing contest, it seemed like, but it seemed like someone was ready to pull over. But before anything else happened, that's when chaos began to happen. And all the wrestlers went out of the ring. It's left with John Cena left in the ring. And an unmasked guy came into the ring. And we find out it's R-Truth. Oh my gosh, this is really insane. We thought, believe it or not, that R-Truth actually let go, last week as it is already? Is he back? It's just amazing because everybody out there, including myself, wanted R-Truth back. It's really hard to see these wrestlers seem to be let go from the wrestling, but it's difficult because all these wrestlers clearly deserve to have their spot. But R-Truth found a way. And I wonder if it had to do it with any storyline, of course, or if it was actually us wanting truth. Because I'm hearing you guys out back there about the rings always chanting R-Truth's name. And we finally got it. He attacked John Cena. What's going to happen with this? I really thought when they faced each other at Saturday Night main event this a couple weeks ago, I really thought that was going to be for the belt. Is this the case now since R-Truth actually attacked John Cena? Do you actually think there's a possibility that R-Truth can actually get a shot at that belt? I really hope that really does happen. But this is a big shocker of the night at Money in the Bank. The with R-Truth coming out and attacking John Cena. That's just so incredible. But anyways, you can tell my reaction how shocking of that actually happened. What did you guys actually think? Are you excited with R-Truth being back? I guess his contract was up, and they let him go. But I guess the contract is reversed, I guess. You heard Michael Cole over an announcement over this whole thing when it was happening, wondering if he actually signed the contract once again with the WWE. It's a big possibility, but it's just so much going on. We're going to find out this week. I believe after this video actually gets released, we're going to find out tonight, because I'm actually shooting this on Monday. And R-Truth supposed to come out and actually talk to us fans of WWE Universe. It's going to be quite interesting, gotta say. So leave your reactions down below with all these matches. The return of R-Truth actually coming back into the WWE is really exciting. And leave your comments with that as well. How do you actually feel with that as well too? But this was a really exciting Money in the Bank. If I were to give a little scale on this as well too, I don't know, 1 to 10, maybe like an 8.5 around there. It's just certain things I kind of pushed me in the level of each one. The Dominic's match was actually short, but it was still fun at the same time. But I felt like they probably had to fill in a little bit of the spot. I think that's why during the Worlds Collide during the day, they actually created this match for being on the schedule for Money in the Bank, which I thought it fit well. But overall, I thought the show was really good. The Money in the Bank matches were really exciting. This is sometimes so hard to watch because they're colliding on these tables, especially those ladders, and breaking them. And guess what? What was it? Yes, it was the last match, because Logan Paul was a frog splash Jey Uso into the announce table. And I keep saying, since they've changed the table, I keep always calling it the unbreakable table. But the table for the announce table actually broke that night. I'm sorry, it would have been more exciting if he had Logan Paul had that drone and actually fell with doing that frog splash. That would have been cool. I thought that was, I think it's really cool how the WWE has all those drones going around and actually giving those really good shots. That's clever, I would say. And having that it gives more of a good environment being in there when you watch it on TV and everything. It's excellent. Thank you, WWE, for changing things around with the drones. I think that's really cool and really good touch. So I could really talk a lot. I'm not going to do that to you guys, but I'm going to start wrapping things up saying, my name's Ryan. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give me the thumbs up, subscribe, and also give me those comments on what you feel about these matches, and did you like the results of these matches? Leave those comments down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.